There are thousands of gemstones in this gold pan. I'm going to be using this set of classifiers to help me sort the gemstones out. This is a 10 mesh sieve where most of our large chunky pieces of rock and gem will be caught. This is a 20 mesh sieve where most of our large pieces of gold and gemstones are going to be caught. And finally, I have a 50 and a 30 mesh classifier, and these will help remove some of the looser dirt and small pieces of gold out of the mix. And just like gold prospecting, the more you classify your material down, the easier it is to sort out. And moreover, we're looking for the biggest gemstones. There wasn't too much rock over 10 mesh, but I can spot one reasonable sized gemstone just here. Now obviously these little stones are very rough and we're unlikely to find anything that's worth cutting, but it's still pretty exciting to be able to dig them out of a creek. And having had a little closer look, I found 2 more stones of a similar type. Just going to put these in a little collection container, move on to the next mesh. The creek we dug these gems out on also contains a little bit of gold, and if you've watched the video where I found this creek, you would have seen me find these little pickers. Gold was not a primary resource on this creek, it was mostly tin and gemstones. So to find not just 1, but 2 nice pieces of gold was super exciting. Now my job is to go through this lovingly and pick out anything that looks very interesting, like that little nugget there. He's definitely going to go into the floating boat cup. Whilst these gemstones are really small, I have got a couple of very cool little pieces of gold over here. Look at that. They're nice sized little bits. It's certainly not every day where your main product is gemstones and your secondary product is gold. I mean, come on, gold and gems in the same creek? That's everyone's dream, isn't it? I am colorblind, so there's going to be a lot of red gems and a lot of green gems that I just miss in general. So I'm going to sort out the ones that I can clearly see. And I'll still be happy with that. I'm sure there are plenty of gemstones I can't see in there because of my colorblind eyes, but what I did manage to recover looks pretty damn good to me. A few nice tasty pieces of gold and a whole bunch of fun looking stones. Interesting fact about this area, and in particular this creek, it's known for having yellow diamonds. Now it's almost impossible to tell if a diamond is a diamond just by looking at it. You need proper testing, but the chance is there that you could find one if you go panning. So in other words, grab everything that is relatively yellow and hope for the best. This is where we're going to start seeing a lot of our gold that we managed to recover alongside the gemstones. Look how many tiny pieces of gem are in that, and a couple little pieces of gold. Look at that, nice. We're going to attempt to show off my prospecting prowess here and pan back the gemstones. Very difficult task to do because gemstones have a quite high specific gravity and the gold likes to sit on and through the black sand as opposed to under it because there's a lot of friction generated by those little stones. There we have it. We've got our little pieces of gold here. That went a lot better than I expected. Cheating a little bit with my finger. It is easier to pan down the larger flakes of gold than it is the smaller flakes. The smaller flakes, I think, are going to be very difficult to get through. Alright, gobble guts, get your feed. This here is definitely the pan that is going to give me the most curry. It's mostly black sand and there's a lot of very fine gold in it. I got to get that fine gold out. The cassiterite in this pan that comes along with the gemstones is tin ore, and it has a specific gravity of 7, which is quite dense, makes it very hard to separate it from all those little pieces of gold. And you better believe that even though this creek wasn't known for gold, we ended up finding a whole bunch of it. It's amazing how much gold we did find because there's not even any real significant alluvial gold workings on this creek. The old timers literally left it alone, and I don't know why because there's a lot of chunky gold there, but it's just not known for it. I haven't even started it, it's just poking its head right out. I discovered a lot of people tend to shy away from doing this part of a cleanup. It's one of my favorite parts. It's tedious and it can be really annoying, but it's such an invaluable skill and it teaches you a lot more than just gold recovery, because if you can sit through this tedium, you can sit through anything, like a hospital waiting room. And considering I was there for the gemstones, that is a really good take of gold. I was not expecting to find any at all. So I am not going to argue with this. Nom, 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 nom. I am just like forever making a mess. And that right there is our gold and our gemstones that I managed to pull out of our concentrates. There is still a lot more gems left inside of all my cons. Even though I left behind a whole heap of red gemstones, it's still nice to be able to create a display piece just like this. And I'm going to be giving this one away over on Patreon this month.